Hello everybody. Today you're going to watch me do an evap, but also I do have some words of encouragement or just some helpful advice for my younger techs out there who are either new to the game or have been doing it but not for too long. I myself haven't been doing this for too long, but right here you're going to see me do an evap. One of my first ones, and one big mistake that I did that you won't see in the video, but I will tell you as I go. When I started doing this evap, the only thing that was in my mind is doing it quick. Compared to the first evap I did, which was doing it right. One of my biggest recommendations is have a little tray ready and label your bolts, because you're going to be removing a lot of different sized bolts that look differently, that even some look similar but go in different places and are different slightly. The car that we're going to be working on is an i4. You start off by removing all the refrigerant. Make sure to do this step right, because you don't want this into this air. It's very dangerous to you and to the atmosphere. The next step is you remove the center console. One thing that I was going to tell you guys earlier was I tried to do this part fast. I didn't label anything, and I did do it pretty quick. I think all this, removing the center console and basically all of the interior, it took me less than a day, but putting it back was the problem. As a new technician, ego is probably one of your biggest problems, because you have a lot to prove and very little knowledge or experience. At least that was one of my biggest problems. I wanted to show everyone that I deserved being a flat rate technician. In this field, you're going to hear a lot of negative things, a lot of people doubting you, saying that you don't deserve to be working on cars, specifically foreign cars, luxury cars. At least that's what I used to hear when I started. And that's why I wanted to tell you, if you've heard something similar, don't listen. Opinions are like buttholes. Everyone has them, and not all of them are clean. The only competition you really have in this industry is yourself. You gotta always think to yourself, how can I be better today than I was yesterday? And don't compare yourself. Comparison is the kill of joy, and the Bible clearly speaks of this. Do not envy, because you will end up losing by doing so. You always gotta look at it in a way where you have what you have and you're good at what you're good at, and that's okay if you're not good at everything. Right here, I removed the center console and now I was taking off the steering wheel. This is the worst, in my opinion, the most annoying part. And these new airbags are so tedious to take off. It's not just like screwing off a couple of bolts from the back. Now you have these little tabs, springs that you gotta push in a way with a T15, I believe. And you gotta, and that's it kind of, and while you're pushing it, you have to remove it. But it's such a mission to do so. I don't know, I personally hate doing them. Like I was saying earlier, don't put yourself down. The only competition you really have is yourself. Don't compare with other techs. There's gonna be a lot of better techs, the same age or even younger than you, that are better than you. And that's okay. Just move as good as you possibly can. That's the skeleton of the car. Little trick, you don't have to completely remove the skeleton. You could just push it down a little bit if you have the seats back enough, and then you could just take off the evap. The evap is inside that housing. That's not the actual evap. You could see later on. I don't think I recorded the actual evap, but you see those little gray hoses that are sticking out on the side? That's the actual evap. That's just the housing of it. And you have to remove, like, you have to unscrew a lot of T20s, I believe, that are surrounding the housing. Open the housing up a little bit and then remove the evap from the actual housing. Last message is, don't put yourself down for the mistakes you make. In the end of the day, in this field, you're gonna make a lot of mistakes, but always learn from them. That's what a true technician does. A good technician, at least, learns from their mistakes. They're gonna happen. It's not if, it's a matter of when. Remember, don't put yourself down. Look, I didn't get to film everything, but this is the end. The car, how it's supposed to look after I put everything together. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate every one of you guys. And if you guys want to hear more of my story, let me know. Stay tuned. Thank you. All glory to Jesus Christ. Amen.